Welcome to Three Sundays Late, a podcast where a couple guys talk about random stuff. Since it's the 1st of January and it's a new year, I guess the first topic we'll be talking about is just some expectations and goals that we have for the upcoming year.
Well said.
Would you like to chime in on what you want to do this year, Michael?
Thanks, Will. I'm sweating right now. Whew.
You sweating bullets?
Sweating bullets.
Yeah, first podcast, right?
Yeah, first podcast.
Excited to be here. We all are.
Oh,
Sure.
welcome, Peter. I didn't even know you were here, man. You were so quiet. How'd you get here?
Through the power of Discord.
Oh, wait, are you sponsored by Discord? That kind of sounds like a sponsored message.
Can't be saying that stuff.
Wait, guys, we didn't even start on the first topic. We already deviated.
All right, first topic. What do you have planned for 2019? What's your biggest goal?
I guess I'll start. My biggest goal is probably just trying to do something with photography. I think the more that I was working with photography in the past year, it seems like it's something that I really want to get into, but then I don't know how it'll fit into my major and then how the job process is going to be. So that's something that I really want to do something with this year, but I guess we'll see where it takes me.
All right, I guess I'll go next. 2019 is probably going to be like a transition year for me. Gonna try to move out of, or actually, I'm gonna try to go back to school. Try to go for grad school. Need to settle down on something I'm happy to do, or happy doing, and not stutter as much whenever I speak. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the point of this podcast, right? Just to be able to
Right.
talk about things openly, freely, and then work on our speech, our confidence in a way.
Sounds like a great idea, Michael.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, what about you, Peter? What's one of your biggest goal?
One of my biggest goals is to become a better educator. Since as my future occupation, I hope to be a teacher. Some steps I probably will go through is possibly making a educational YouTube channel similar to Khan Academy, and then just doing some more resources and opportunities to get more teaching under my belt through tutoring and substitute teaching.
Yeah, just trying to get that experience so then you know how to work with kids, deal with certain situations, and then just try to kind of see what works for you in terms of like teaching, right?
Correct.
What subjects do you think you're going to be teaching first?
For my YouTube channel,
Yeah.
probably you don't see math probably, and then phonics.
Phonics.
Yes, mostly a focus on math though. That's what I'm more passionate about. And then phonics, helping kids how to say syllables, soundings, and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
What's the age range that you're going into for your major or for what you want to be when you become a teacher?
My degree's from K through 6, but I'll probably want to specialize more in the second to fourth grade realm.
Oh, I see.
Question: do you have a choice for when you apply to a certain school to choose which kind of grade or which grade you want to teach?
It's just looking for a specific grade level. Then they usually have it open up, so when I apply, I can just apply for anything, and then what is usually whatever they need me, they can put me into, and then once I'm inside the program, inside the school system, I can ask for prefer hey, I want to be a second grade teacher next year, something like that. That's what happened to one of my other practicum teachers. She was I believe fourth grade teacher, and then she wanted to teach younger grades, so she asked to get moved, and she was able to stay at the same school and move to her second grade job instead.
Oh, I see.
But it's better when you apply to keep your options open, and then start off from there.
So
Great.
since you've done your practicums before, like these previous semesters too, how are the classes selected for your practicum? Is it just like assigned by the teacher and the teacher has connections with that, or is it just because of whatever the class is you get assigned to a school?
they will ask us before the beginning of the semester our preferred grade levels we want to teach at, and then they'll try to sort us out through there. And then also they will check our history, which levels we have taught so far, and through that they'll try to put us into something new. So, for example, um, my first one I didn't care which one I put, so I got placed into a fourth grade classroom, and the semester after that, they saw I was in fourth grade, so they put me in a second grade classroom, and then this year they put me in third grade classroom. But I specifically after that, well, after my first time, or even before that, maybe I specifically asked that I didn't want to be in a kindergarten or first grade classroom though.
Oh, I see. So you kind of like set that boundary, like this is something that you don't really want to do, but then if like there's nothing left, then it's possible that I'll be able to do it just for the experience, kind of thing. But you
Yeah.
would prefer two and up.
Yes.
I would too. Any younger, they're pieces of butt. Have you had any troublesome students in the past, Peter?
Yes. They have had some difficulties with students. Tends to happen with behavior issues usually. But
Around what age group?
it can range from any age group, or really surprisingly that I didn't really know about until recently. It's like I heard stories about kindergartners or how like emotional trauma and such, or like family issues that result in students um, bringing their family issues or life issues into the school classroom and then acting out. So there's a lot of emotional support needed for kids these days.
I see. I see. Um, since you,
Well,
what
oh,
were you gonna
sorry.
say, Michael?
I was going to say asking the question, but go ahead.
Oh, I was basically just gonna ask him like, going into this major and trying to become a teacher, is there any situation that you were kind of afraid of getting into in terms of dealing with kids?
Um,
Or
yeah,
I guess rather than being afraid to is more of being unprepared.
yes. I was mostly worried about um knowing the material since I haven't learned anything or practiced anything that's in the elementary school grade level, because a lot of the ways they taught teach like subjects like math have changed. There's a lot of different methods. It's more visual than what I remember when I was younger. It's more just facts and just a lot of memorization, but now it's more representation and visual graphics of how to explain stuff to kids, and which helps kids learn better. And then another thing that's you can't really prepare for it within in your lecture classes. You have to just learn it on the go, which is how to do classroom management skills and deal with certain behaviors or adapt to certain needs and stuff like that, which are something that you just learn, I guess, as you go.
What are you gonna ask him, Michael? Before I rudely interrupted you.
Man, it ain't rude. My question's kind of dumb anyway.
Oh,
While I was in Florida, I heard somebody talk about like kindergarten fight club. If there was a fight club, what would you do, Peter? In your own class?
I would probably have to talk to the authorities if after talking to my principal, probably, and my staff. So
yeah, but what happens if a fight just happens to break out in your class and then all the kids start going crazy? What would you do?
well, first off, I'd probably ask the kids to stop, or like try to probably heat of the moment, probably shout. And then also there's an emergency button in all the classrooms, so when you press the button, it calls it notifies the office that you need help right away. So they usually send someone down to help you guys. And then also just go to the hall, ask for help. So it's usually a lot of teachers help each other out and stuff in the classroom like that. There has been situations where you've needed to call the office or another teacher across the hall to help out in the classroom. So
I never knew there was an emergency button.
yeah,
Where is
must
it
be new.
normally?
I don't think we've had it when I was younger either.
When I was younger in like public school and stuff like that, since I know you went to private school, right, Peter?
Yes.
Yeah. So in public school, we didn't necessarily have an emergency button, but then we had a button where it would connect us to the intercom with the office, and then we can talk to them that way. But then it wasn't necessarily a emergency button, I think.
Well,
But
yeah, it's not enable emergency button, but it's a call to help button or like
yeah,
ask
yeah,
for help kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that we had back then, where we were able to be connected to the office by intercom.
Where's the button normally located? On the desk? On your desk?
No, it's the one right. The most recent one I remember was by the main entrance to the classroom. I don't remember the other two were.
Yeah, I think that's about right from what I remember from like elementary school, middle school. It's usually by like whatever the light switches are, because that's usually by the door already. So it's around like that area, I believe. But I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Mm.
Just to move topics real quick, Michael, you said you wanted to go back into grad school. You graduated like 2 years ago, right?
1 year ago.
1 year ago. Dang, time flies, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but since you want to go back to grad school, are you planning on going deeper into your field, or what do you want to do with grad school?
Something similar to my field. Honestly, never thought I would think about going back to school after graduating, but like, I think I would continue something in engineering. Probably not chemical engineering, since that deals more with industry and a bunch of pipes and diagrams. That's basically what chemical engineering is. I want to do something more with the biological side.
Oh, I see.
Maybe like protein synthesis is what interests me the most, and you need to be like a chemist or a biochemical engineer in order to do that kind of stuff. So something similar to chemical engineering, but also a little bit different since it emphasizes more on the biological side.
I see.
And yeah.
Is this
And
a more? Oh, sorry. Continue.
I was just gonna say like what I'm doing right now is like okay. I'm just doing some whatchamacallit, analytical chemistry engineering for a company, but starting off like without a higher degree, you can't really advance as far. And during my internship, what is it? My instructor or advisor actually told me like we had a long conversation about this. He was actually like encouraging me to go on to grad school after I graduate, because there's like a sort of glass ceiling in your salary if you just have an undergrad degree. Like no matter how long you work, you can't get past a certain salary inside a company, or any company really, unless you have a PhD.
I see.
So
I see.
that's also like another motivation, which
Is
is
it-
kind of wrong to say, but it's a way to advance yourself and for everyone else around you too.
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna mainly ask you like, when were you motivated to consider grad school again? Is it something that just recently came up, or?
Kind of like halfway through my first job, which I'm still currently working. But it's mainly because like with this first job, they started me on like really easy stuff, and I got kind of bored of it. I was thinking about like ways to move on and get into different things, do things that I actually want to do. Since then, I'm like actually advanced in my company a little bit, and they've started sending me on business trips, which is a heck of a lot more fun than just working in a lab all day. So that's a good change of pace, but I still want to do something more that offers more rewards.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What are some places that have you gone to? Have you been able to go to just because of your job and your ability to advance through the company, where they trust you enough to send you off to these different places?
Yeah, the biggest one was my first business trip, and that was in South Korea. That was pretty fun. Like not many people at all like get to go to a different country for a business trip on their first job. Like I haven't even worked a year yet at that company, and they were trusting me enough to send me off to South Korea. So that was pretty exciting. Other than that, I've been to Arizona, South Carolina, Florida, and then I'll be going to California pretty soon too. So all over the country.
Dang, and that's within like a couple month time frame too. It's not even like you've been working here that long either, too, huh?
Right. It's only been about, that's all within this 3 months time period. Because I started traveling in October. And it's January now, just started the new year. So, yeah.
Yeah. Never know what's gonna be in store for you for this upcoming year, huh?
Yeah.
So, sorry. In the future, if you had a job that asked that you would travel a lot, like let's say once a month or bi-monthly, would you do it if it was in part of your what you wanted to be, like your studies?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, traveling is not bad. Like, I love traveling. The biggest concern, though, about traveling in the future is that, like, if I start settling down and, like, if I wanted to start a family, can't leave my wife or my kids alone at home all the time. So, I guess, like, yeah, wouldn't be too bad, but minimizing the amount of travel would be nice later on. I don't know if that answers your question, Peter.
It definitely does. It makes perfect sense.
All right.
Yeah, it just kind of lines up with, life transitions. Like you mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, you were saying that for this upcoming year, you're kind of in a transitional period, so you're still not sure what you want to do yet. So I think
That's
your
right.
answer makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Since I'm still young, traveling right now is like, yeah, I can travel. I have a lot of free time. I'm not tied down by anything yet. And yeah, since some of the older guys in the company who used to travel a lot, they're starting to like have kids and they can't travel as much anymore because if they leave their pregnant wives, they might not have a home to come back to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
You know what I mean?
yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah. So that's why like these opportunities have presented themselves to me. They basically came to me and asked me if I wanted to kind of learn what they're doing and then fill their position. That way I can travel in their place so they can have more time to spend with their families or upcoming families. Which is really nice. I came in at a perfect time.
What time
yeah.
did when did you start working at this company?
Started working about actually almost about exactly 1 year ago.
Did you expect to be sent off on all these business trips by the end of the year? Because I don't think you were, right?
No, definitely was not. I thought I had to work here for at least a year before they at least sent me on one business trip. But it seemed like it was just a need-based thing. So, and I think most of the higher ups in the company acknowledges that I have the skill set and I have the motivation to, do my work, do a good job, and that's why they chose me to do a lot of these travels.
Are you sure it wasn't because you attended all the company parties and ate all the food? They were impressed by you.
They were impressed at how fast I can shotgun a beer. No, no, no. Oh man, there's lots of parties too. It's great. The Christmas party, all you can eat sushi.
Dang, I was jealous when you sent us or when you sent me that picture of the all you can eat sushi in Korea.
Oh yeah, that was so good. They had a lot of raw stuff. Well, of course sushi, but like a lot of other raw options too. They serve a lot of raw shrimp, raw squid, stuff that I haven't seen before. It's crazy.
If your company were to send you off to another place in the world, where is one place that you would want to go?
Let's just start with a V.
Nah, probably want to go to Singapore.
Oh, Singapore. That's interesting.
I
That'd be
love
a pretty fun-
Singapore.
Singapore or Malaysia. And we actually are doing some business down there. Maybe one day I'll get to go.
Yeah, next thing you know, 2 months later, hey, Michael, you want to go to Singapore?
Hell yes. Scary though. Like going, especially going alone to a foreign country. Oh, the other times I've traveled, I've normally travel with other people. When I went to South Korea, I also went with, when I went to South Korea, I went there alone, but then two other coworkers on the same project were already there. So they were able to show me around and kind of help me out, find my ground and everything.
Do you think you would be able to do it if you were sent off by yourself?
It'd be scary, but yeah. Like, people have done it. Like, anybody can do it. You just gotta believe that you will survive.
And you gotta believe in your phone not losing
Yeah.
connection.
You gotta get a spare charger for your phone.
Yeah.
Google Translate.
Gotta be like, hey Google.
Yeah. So, Will,
What's
you
up?
talked about working on your video editing and working on photography. Is
Yeah.
that right?
I wanted to go into more of the photography side of it because I've been experimenting with it a lot more in the past year because I've had a camera for like 2 or 3 years now, but then I didn't really get into it until I started taking this one class. The class is called Visual Communications. It kind of introduces you to a lot of different things, a lot of different programs, and then you're breathing to your mic, Peter. Are you knocked out? Hello?
I did not breathe into my mic.
Dude, you said that with such confidence. I have to believe you. I guess it was me breathing into the mic and I heard it.
Yes, that was the ghost.
Oh, you got a ghost? Damn, dude. Rip. But yeah, when I was taking this visual communications class, I was able to learn more about photography and videography, cinematography, that kind of thing. Just in terms of like setting up shots, framing, and then just trying to be creative. And then that kind of inspired me to look into different things. And I've had some friends come up to me to ask to take pictures for them and stuff like that. Like I had a friend who came up to me and asked me to take a picture for him, and something that he wanted was that kind of picture where the background is very dark, but then there's like a really sharp light, and then it's a lot of contrast between the subject and the background. And that's something that I eventually learned was called low key photography, where you essentially just use a flash and then you take a picture, and then the background is going to be like completely dark, but then the subject is like completely lit up. So that's something that I kind of dived into, and then I kind of first tested it with shoes, like inanimate objects. And then after that, I was able to apply it to him. And then that's when I started learning more about photo editing too, because sometimes your shots, it doesn't end up how you want it to look, and then you can go into a photo editor like Lightroom, and then you can adjust certain things like the color if you want a picture to be warmer or colder depending on the type of story or like the type of message that you want to get across with the picture. And then for this upcoming year, I'm planning on going to New York to visit a longtime friend, and he's someone that's always wanted to kind of like have a photo shoot, but then he never really had any photography friends. So I thought might as well kill two birds with one stone. Go visit a lifelong friend that I've had for like forever, since I've known him from when we were playing online games. So I want to go to New York, be able to meet him, and then take pictures for him too, and then kind of like I guess work at creating a portfolio and then trying to enhance my ability to shoot photography.
Yeah, sounds pretty sweet. Some of the items that you took pictures of, probably advertisement quality, aren't they?
I guess it just depends on if you look at it that way. Some people have told me that it looks like I took pictures of shoes, like a pair of basketball shoes that I have, and then using that low key photography. Someone has mentioned that it kind of looks like just like one of those sponsored Instagram posts or whatever on social media. It kind of looked like one of those. So,
dude, get sponsored. Get sponsored by Nike.
Yeah. If I were to get sponsored, I'd probably say Adidas. I like Adidas a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid.
Yeah, but for the most part, photography is something that I really got interested in, and I hope to be able to do something in the future. Maybe not in the like in the near future, but like later on down the line. Because I'm majoring in advertising and public relations, and that major is not all creative stuff. There's a lot behind it that I actually don't even know much about. But then taking a couple of these classes, it's been really eye opening and interesting because there's a lot behind it. Just taking a look at digital analytics, that's one thing that I didn't expect to learn about going through this program. And that's something that I never considered, even though I'm around social media all the time. Like, I never really thought about it, about like demographics and targeting and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you're graduating pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I'll be graduating in May 2019.
Gotcha. So what do you think you're going to be doing after you graduate? Are you going to be focusing more on your photography?
I think what I'll be focusing more on is just trying to get my foot in the door at some job, and then trying to be able to like get experience, I guess, just in the overview of advertising and public relations. Because a lot of people have always asked me, it's like, what do you want to do with advertising and public relations? But I never really had an answer for them. I really don't know. But then I always considered digital analytics as something that I might want to get into. Just be able to look at data and then try to come up with possible insights, and then analyze the data and try to kind of help out on how to form a campaign around that data, and then like what would help, what wouldn't help, what's working, what's not working, etc.
Nice, nice, nice. When are you going to go to New York?
I'm planning on sometime after I graduate, so maybe late May, early June, because that's when my friend gets out of school for summer break too.
It's not a bad time to go to New York. It's going to be really nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's not gonna be cold and snowy.
Yeah. It's not going to be too hot either because it's New York. Hey.
Yeah, he actually doesn't
Wow.
live in the city, so it'd be interesting to see the suburbs, and then probably just go into the city one day and then have a photo shoot for him. Because he's hit me up a couple times just through Facebook. Like, he has an iPhone, like iPhone 5, and he takes a couple pictures with his friends, and then he always hits me up, and he's like, "Hey, can you edit this for me? Like, I need some help." So then I kind of give him my opinion, and then I edit a couple photos for him and see how he likes it, and then just work off from there. And then he's seems like he enjoys the way I edit so far, so I have one potential customer already.
One personal customer. Very nice. If you're going to go for a company, though, would you consider like try to get into like a gaming company? That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, like gaming company, like working in esports and the social media
Yeah.
side of it.
Yeah, like a good company called Riot Games.
Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about esports company like Cloud9. But
That too. Not TSM though.
not TSM. Dang. But I think it'd be really cool to be able to step foot into the gaming industry in terms of just like marketing and stuff like that. Well, not even marketing, but advertising, because looking at League of Legends, before they didn't really have any ads or any sponsors or anything, but then if you look in the past year, they've come out with like a lot of ads on Facebook, YouTube, etc. I don't know if any of you guys seen it, but I've seen a couple.
I've seen them.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it'd be really interesting to first see how they came up with trying to like work out why they were gonna do this certain type of ad for like this certain type of demographic and whatnot. So I think it'd be cool to be able to get into that industry and then like take a look at behind the scenes, because I'm pretty sure it's something that not a lot of people really think about. Like, why did they really create this ad, and then like how did they get to the process or get through the process to be able to end up with this end product.
Right. Yeah, because esports only started in around like just the turn of the century, so
Mm-hmm.
pretty brand new.
Yeah,
Put your foot in the door.
Yeah.
For a brand new industry.
I think with the esports, the stigma has come down a lot too, mainly because a lot of people are streaming now. It's becoming more popular, and then like especially when Fortnite came out, that Fortnite boom, everyone started gaming. Everyone started jumping on like the hype. So I think the stigma to gamers is lessening as time goes on. So
which would make your job a little bit easier.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty much out too. I guess this is something we should have talked about before, like trying to find an outro. We don't really have an outro, huh?
This is 30 Sundays late, and it was something.
I thought you were gonna end it. I was waiting for you to finish it. You're like all confident and stuff. You're like, this is 3 Sundays late. Good night.
Peace out.
Peace
30 Sundays
out.
late, and we'll catch you on the
Flip
next
side.
Sunday.
Fourth Sunday.
The fourth Sunday late.
This is 3 Sundays late. We'll catch you in 3 Sundays. Please subscribe, like, comment.
Please.
Please.
I need food. Ah.